But we are going to take you foraging around the room and show you. I'm sure there's some stuff in there as well. Give us a tour.
Well, actually, those people are very good backgrounds, and we will probably need some of the sagebrush over there. A little bit of sage.
I made a little popcorn. It's just popcorn, but these are all spices from around Los Angeles, Pasadena, Malibu, the foothills, and the popcorn blend has, these are stuff that we gathered and made into a spice blend. All of you see when you're driving, when you're walking, it has wild bay, sagebrush, white sage, black sage, wild fennel, wild pepper, and then a few secret ingredients that we can't tell. But, I like to call this LA in a bag because this is really what LA tastes like, I think. And it smells, it's appropriate for the holidays. It smells like, wait, it smells like a turkey.
It tastes like turkey.
So I introduced myself a little bit very fast and then we have to take over. I started studying about foraging probably 12 years ago. I actually started a little bit like a survivalist in what we did. You know, the computer guy at the time. So I was a little bit scared. I was a programmer at the time. I was doing virtual reality for the time. And I decided that maybe I should learn a little bit about the wild animal in this area. I grew up in Belgium, and in Belgium we eat all kinds of wild food. Nettles, walnuts, and all kinds of different stuff. I grew up in a big town of 1,500 people, and my neighbor was a cow, so there was not a lot to do. So I spent most of my youth actually in the wild. And then life took over and I ended up somewhere in Los Angeles doing graphic design and web stuff. And then back to Y2K, I was interested to learn a little bit about wild food so that in case something happened, I can survive and eat. But then I became obsessed with something, it's the fact that I was building as a survivalist. And we were eating wild food and it was not very good. And I was doing like, oh my god, there are so many flavors over there and nobody doing anything with it. So I became completely obsessed with discovering the wild flavor, the flavor that you can find in the environment. There's probably 250 different plants that you can find in the environment that you can eat. I could go outside.
You're eating like 6 or 7, right?
Yeah, 6 or 7 right now. You could go outside and probably within 10 minutes I can make you a nice salad. Not in this area, but we have a little bit of pollution. But I became completely obsessed with trying to figure out what are the true flavor of Los Angeles. Because we have so much. We have sage, we have wild lettuce.
And we're also 30 minutes from a major forest, and people forget that.
Yeah.
30 minutes from there. Yes.
Yes. Actually.
Anywhere in LA, you're about less 30 minutes less.
So this obsession kind of led me to really do a lot of study and actually try things as a forager and learn more. And I still learn, like every month I learn a couple of new plants and new uses. And I ended up, funny enough, making a living out of it. Like presently I'm actually a forager for 3 restaurants. Individual Fair, Promec. Also forage for Melis restaurants. And then also forage for Girasol. And then last year I was foraging for 8 restaurants and for Alma. So if you've gone to these restaurants, you actually eat more food, you food that you forage. And I've got my shopping bag here.
Show and tell.
Show and tell. So you're actually eating some of the stuff, but so I'm a forager and I'm also a master food preserver, meaning by that I know to preserve stuff, all kinds of different ways, from fermentation to pickling to drying to stuff on pages, you name it.
And I have to say, you can't really be a forager unless you know how to preserve things. The foraging seasons are so short, and maybe some of them are 2 weeks, and some of them are 2 months. So I don't think you can really call yourself a forager unless you know how to preserve food as well.
I just said it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm the forager, I'm the food preserver, and then my other half is the chef.
Yeah, so people ask us, our story is, how did you meet and do this? I was a marketing executive, and you were a photographer at the time, and we both just chucked it all a couple of years ago and said, this is what we want to do, we love it, and that's all I want to do is stuff related to foraging and food. So basically we met online. I don't even remember the dating service. And whatever it was, we were both on a week trial, you know, where you try to meet somebody and not pay. And we were foraging. And basically the computer messed up because none of his profile were anything that I wanted, and you know, I mean, I got back. I don't know, I didn't know that he also has a lot of interesting hobbies, so I decided to meet him. At the time he lived at the top of the mountain in Los Angeles. Single woman, meeting sketchy weird guy before the top of the mountain alone. And it turned out to be the best thing ever. And I remember our first conversation is, what are you into? And I said, I really love to cook. Done. Done. So I went to his place, and never really left, I guess, but, you know, I'm easy. And he brought in these wild forages, this is years, wild forages, and then he went out to go forage more, and I just couldn't help it, so I just, when he was gone, I just whipped something up. I'm like, I knew what some of it was, and then from there, we just decided, like you said, just Los Angeles has such an emerging food culture and scene that nobody sees. There are so many resources here and so many natural foods and so many different microclimates. It's so exciting. So we both decided that that was our mission, is to champion Los Angeles and, you know, let people know a little bit about what you can find in the area and like what's in that bag. That's what LA tastes like. I'm pretty proud of it. Come on, LA.
While preserving, I do probably like 150 to 200 different types of preserves. If you count the two, was restaurant formulated. But let's see what I have in my shopping bag. I took some stuff just before I came here. And I'm going to grab the first one.
By the way, my mom's really proud that my other half carries a shopping bag and he's a forager.
So this is sugar. But this is sugar from insect. This is herb sugar. It's a lot of insect that grows in the eucalyptus tree, and they suck the juice of the tree, and they put the sugar. So this is actually insect fruit sugar.
It's no different than honey if you think about it.
Because honey is really bee vomit.
Yeah, it's bee vomit.
So everybody wants to try a little bit of the...
Dawn does.
Dawn? Okay, try that. Come on, tell me what it tastes. Whoa.
I think it tastes like Rice Krispies, personally.
Anybody over there wants to try some?
I'll try.
I don't have a nut.
That's my girl.
You guys are really brave. I'm impressed.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies, right?
No, it's not sugar.
It's got a little like a...
Sugar? It tastes like sugar?
I think the cellulose is
I don't like sugar. No, it's good. It's good, yeah.
Just to be sweet to the very end.
You add them for yourself.
It's got like a little brown sugar too.
It's not that bad.
That is the best.
It's very good.
The best insect poop I've ever had. That is.
I guess I'm supposed to get sweet to like this.
No, it's got like a little brown sugar.
And then
This one's interesting. This one's interesting. I was doing some research 2 years ago about plants, and in the old days, people used to make beer using plants. No hops, no grain, just pure plants. And we happen to have quite a few in the central area. One of them that I use a lot is called mugwort. So I do my own mugwort beer. It's a very aromatic beer. And I'm not going to open that because I shake it so much that it's probably going to explode. But I made mugwort beer, I made white sage cider, I made also yarrow beer, so I make beer that have not been tasted probably for 1,000 to 2,000 years now. That's
translated to beer that hasn't been produced like that for 2,000 years.
exactly what he said. The cool thing though is that if you have beer, and you make with it, you can also make vinegar. So I've got all kind of vinegar, but this one is interesting because that one says fruit flies vinegar. So that's an interesting one. I had a friend of mine who was doing elderberry wine. By the way, do you guys know how to make vinegar? No? Okay, how to make vinegar usually is you have to purchase something called mother of vinegar. Kind of like a kombucha. You have to have a mother, and then you basically infect your brew or your wine, and then you can make vinegar with it. But how the mother of vinegar was done originally, nobody knows. You basically just buy it from somebody, or get it from somebody, you actually buy it online. But a friend of mine was bringing me elderberry wine that she makes in the mountain, and after 2 weeks...
Okay, the real name is Barbara?
Yes.
Okay, Barbara, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Really, she gave us the wine as a gift, but it
didn't turn out too well,
right.
but it changed into vinegar quite fast.
Right, but very useful.
Very useful, so I kept getting those wine that turned into vinegar, and I was wondering why. Because I could not make my beer or wine turn into vinegar, and I realized at the bottom there were some fruit flies. So I go, oh, that's interesting. So I took some of my beer, and I just went outside and I left it there. I took another beer, and I invited the fruit flies. I said, go for it, free beer, it's open.
Haven't you noticed when you have a glass of wine in the summer, that's where they all go?
That's right.
Like you have a glass of wine, that's where all the fruit flies go.
So suddenly I checked 2 weeks later, and my regular beer with no fruit fly, normal, and the one I had fruit fly turned into vinegar. So I did some research. I found out in the Middle Ages they actually were talking about making vinegar with fruit flies, because the fruit flies have the bacteria, the bacteria, they actually create vinegar on their feet. So this is really a vinegar that is made with plants from Los Angeles, with a wild strain of vinegar that exists only in Los Angeles. It tastes completely different than anything you would have anywhere. That's homemade food. Those are the fruit flavor of Los Angeles right there too. I'm going to go very fast because I could take a long time and we have to talk about that. So I want to...
Yeah, but stand there.
Yes, okay.
Maybe you can open this outside and people can smell it and taste it.
So different stuff. This is actually flour made with tree bark. So you can actually take a pine tree and you go release the inner layer and you can actually make flour with it. So you can make bread, all the different stuff. It's pure starch. Another one would be this one. What is that one? Oh, powder. I do all kind of different powder. I give that to the chefs and they like to decorate. So you have nettle powder, you have all kind of different color, and it has some flavor too, so it makes the dish very pretty. That's nice.
Is the flour the wheat flour or just...
There's no gluten in it.
What tree can you
Pine. You can also do that with cotton wool. There will be another one too.
But there, yeah, it's non-glutinous, you know, so most of your wild food breads are not going to be have any gluten in there, it'll be stretchy, or flatbreads, which are still good. Cakes and stuff like that.
So I like my salt. So I make my own salt, and the way I do that is actually go to the sea, pick up some seawater and dehydrate it. And this is actually salt from the San Luis Obispo Sea. Only thing you have to do is take seawater, you boil it. You end up with a mush at the bottom, and then you dehydrate it. You end up with a salt that is like.
I have to ask permission to use this, by the way.
Somebody wants to try a little bit of the salt? Very different salt anyway.
It tastes really, really different.
Maybe try it.
I'll try.
It's not too hot.
I'm like a guinea
I guess
pig.
I can dehydrate more.
You let them use it, but I have to ask permission.
I'll use my
And
stick.
I got a different pickle. This is a black walnut pickle, fresh black walnut.
There's native walnuts, olives here. I mean, she talked about there's figs, walnuts, passion fruit, feral apples. I mean, there's a lot. Just if you're walking down Silver Lake, I used to live in West Hollywood, I used to see wild spinach, nettles, sorrel. There's so much here that people think oh, I gotta go to Noma or something, you know, go for something else. Yeah.
But is there anything that's dangerous to eat?
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you know what's dangerous?
You gotta take, I mean,
Education.
back in the old days, it was
Like
word
pretzel
of
salt.
mouth, and I see you, and we have communication, and we know each other, and we trust you. And I think foraging has to be the same kind of thing. You can research in a book, but you really need to commune with other people to learn that craft. And it's been learned for thousands of years. It's doable, but you do need to spend time and commitment with it. And we've had people come to the classes who have been coming for years, and you can always learn something. And now some of them teach their own classes. So, but if you're interested in it, you know, I think you really need to connect with somebody who's an expert.
And some food, interestingly enough, actually poisonous, but if you prepare it correctly, are made edible.
But some things you can't go, dandelion, that's all over, you know, wild spinach, can't really.
Grass. I mean, there's so much stuff, even regular grass. Mia made some incredible grass butter. You
Yeah,
basically juice it like green grass.
Juice it and use butter, or,
So
you know.
if people want to go out with you and support with you, how can they do that?
Every weekend, I give a class on Sunday.
You can go to urbanoutdoorskills.com,
Yeah.
or our project that we do together is called wildfoodlab.com. And basically, he's in his creating, I mean, it's scary to go into our garage, there's things going boop, boop, and there's mother things forming, it's kind of scary. We used to have it in our bedroom, but I drew the line. But basically, what we do in the Wild Food Lab is you'll create some preserves, we'll do some foraging, and then we'll create dishes. I'm not in the extreme survival realm either. I like to kind of create things that people will love, like we do acorn veggie burgers that are fantastic out of acorns, and you know, some nettle stews and things that are actually palatable and yummy. And people, after they come to the class, it's inspiring to them because they're like, son of a bitch, I can do that myself too, and you really can. So that's
Yeah, but you guys make, we've been friends for a while now, but it's beautiful. What you create is beautiful.
well, I'm a food stylist as well, so that kind of helps. But even if you didn't style it out, it's good food. It's good food that we have for now.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.